Honey, is it
I'm
on?
not telling everybody my business.
That's right. But we for the key. We about the key.
But I was on a gay cruise.
Oh my God. Is it on? Is it on, honey? Is this thing recorded? Let me tell you something, right? I got a not a mint, but I got a cough drop in here because I had some stuff in my throat earlier. I
Yes.
gotta soothe my cough drop. But
Yeah. Not coffee.
we are about to have a good episode because I have spoken about this in the universe and said that I want to do these things. I want y'all to know that there's 3 Billies. It's Billy Lord, Billy D. Williams, and Billy Porter. That's the only 3 Billies I know in this world. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Outlaws podcast, honey. I call Billy Porter the aunt. Billy Porter.
The
God
auntie, I'm trying to get better light, but I'm not in my house. I can't.
Listen, it's okay.
We're fine. We're fine.
You're fine. We about to do tea, shade, funny, all the things. I have been sitting over here in my desk saying, I want to get, because I call you the aunt. I don't give a fuck about all this stuff. I was like, the aunt, honey, the aunt. I call you the aunt. I want to tell you, Billy Porter, I've watched your life from straight.
Oh, so you were around?
Oh, yeah. I watched your life from straight all the way to the aunt, okay? I watched you go from the uncle.
But I was always the aunt.
You was always the aunt. Always been the aunt.
I was always the auntie. I was just trying to make a living, honey.
No. See, this is where you got it confused. There are aunties, and she's giving but bitch, you are the aunt.
I receive that.
The aunt.
I take it. I receive it. I appreciate it.
And after this last fiasco, honey, that's been going on, how you have snatched the internet's edges, bitch. And you gave that Mariah tribute, bitch, and that Whitney Houston elude, bitch. I was like, that is definitely the aunt.
And I don't give a fuck.
I know. And that's what I look. Billy, where you from?
I'm from Pittsburgh originally.
Pittsburgh.
I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I grew up in the Pentecostal church, very similar to, you grew up in Pentecostal, right?
I grew up there, boy, it's all the same.
Yeah.
They get the hooping and hollering and laying hands and shit and all that kind of stuff, honey. I've been delivered from that shit.
And then turning around and oppressing other groups of people in Jesus' name. We're very similar in that I learned early on. And, my book is out. I talk about it all the time. Unprotected is my memoir. And I talk about how the violation of the sexual abuse at the hands of my stepfather from the time that I was 7 to the time that I was 12 was the best thing that ever happened to me. And here's why. Let me turn this. How do I mute this? Because I just got a ding. I don't know how to mute. I don't know how to, whatever.
Listen.
And so I say that because I was entrenched inside of the cult that is religion. Let's call it what it is. And my specific space was the Church of God in Christ.
Oh, the Kojic, dear God.
I was Kojic. And what I discovered from the time I was 12 when I stopped the abuse, right? Because I was watching the news. It was 1981. The AIDS crisis had just started. I was sitting at a dinner table. The news came on. They talked about a gay disease. I went and looked up what gay or homosexual was because I had a feeling, and I stopped it. And then I went into a regressive state where I forgot about it. And then at 16, I was doing shows at an amusement park called Kennywood Park. And my stepfather and my mother and my little sister, who was 7, came to see me perform. And I remember he went off with her to go on the little paddle boats thing, and it all came back, like literally that moment, that day. And I say this because then I was the sinner. I was the faggot. I was going to hell. I was the sinner when I sat around and watched all of these adults do nothing. Like what's happening right now.
Yeah.
I'm triggered every fucking day by this government. I'm triggered every fucking day.
Every day.
Every single fucking day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nobody did anything about it. And the blessing and the gift in that is that at 16 years old, I understood I had to extract myself from that trauma and those people to save myself. And I did. And I've never gone back.
So you pursued a career in entertainment. When did you really know that you can sing?
I knew in 5th grade. I sang in the church. And everybody sings in church. I sang in the church. There was a bit of a they understood that the way I sang was special. They got it. But the only thing they understood in that space when something is special about you because of the bubble is Lil Preacher Man.
Uh-huh. Right.
And so they were putting that on me. And I preached my first and last sermon around the age of 10 or 11. Simultaneously, because I did it, and then I said to my mom, I was like, no, it's not this. I don't like this. And she was great. She was like, my mom was the greatest woman who ever walked the fucking earth. But that in the 6th grade, I went to Reisenstein Middle School, and there were these after-school programs. And I always talk about me being the real generation that benefited. I'm 56, born in 69. So I'm the generation that benefited from all of those civil rights progressive legislations that were in place for the very short time that they were.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When I say the 3-leaf binder of after-school programs was about this thick, back and front pages. Like nobody left school. Everybody was engaged in some sort of, after-school program. And one of them was Reisenstein was the name of the school, Reisenstein Musical Theater. I didn't know what theater was, but I thought musical, well, I'm in the choir, I'm playing the saxophone, maybe I can sing in this. And I found out, going back to when I really knew, the bullying, answer that first question because I got off track. The bullying was every day and it was incessant until the 5th grade. And then there was a talent show. And I signed up for the talent show and I won. And then the bullying stopped. And all of a sudden I was that dude that could sing, leave him alone. So there was something that made me understand that this had power.
Uh-huh. Your voice.
So my voice had power. So when I got to the 6th grade, I knew, let me get in choir. I was playing the saxophone. So then I went to this after school program and they said, we're going to do a musical, and told us what a musical was. And then the next week, you're going to come back and sing a song. And then we're going to cast you. And the show was Babes in Arms, Rogers and Hart's Babes in Arms. And interestingly enough, fortuitously enough, that was my birthday. And when I walked out, my grandmother and my great aunt were waiting for me to take me on a birthday adventure. That birthday adventure was me going downtown with them, having dinner, and then going to see the national tour of The Wiz.
Oh, you can't win.
I sat, that's not in the original version, but yes, that's from the movie, but yes. And it's also in the revival. They put it in the revival because it's a better song. Anyway, I digress. Because Quincy Jones wrote that one and Michael Jackson wrote that one.
Yeah.
So anyway, I sat there and I was like, oh my God, this is a musical. Oh, and it was Black people.
Yeah.
And at the end, she sings Home, and I couldn't move. I just couldn't, I was like my breath, it took my breath away.
And this was Stephanie Mills, right?
No, this was Lilius White. This was the tour. This was the first national tour.
Okay.
And so it was Lilius White, who has now become one of my mentors and best friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to school the next day and I said, I saw this show called The Wiz. I want to sing this song called Home. My music teacher came back the next day with not only the album, but the sheet music for me. And the following week, I went in and I sang Home. And the rule was every role was double cast because there were like 100 people there. And the cast list went up and every single role was double cast except for me. That was a cue. That was a clue. It was like, why am I not double cast? Is this the space? This is my space. So then there was that. We did the show. I had a great time. I hadn't connected the dots that, A, you could really do it for a living. And The Wiz was there, but it didn't, and then I saw Dreamgirls on television, which is a very famous story of mine. And the Tony Awards came on that summer. I was washing dishes and Dreamgirls came on, and there was something about it being on television, even though it was theater, it was on television. And they were doing that final fight scene going into And I'm Telling You. And it was Loretta Devine, and it was Cheryl Lee Ralph, and it was Debbie Burrell, and it was Ben Harney, and Oba Bubba Tunde, and Cleavon Derricks, and Jennifer Holliday. And she launched into And I'm Telling You, and it was like, oh, she's singing like I sang. And she's on television, and they're beautiful, and they're in gowns, and they're not in the hood, and they're not in the ghetto, and they're glamorous, and maybe I can do this. And that's what flipped it and changed it for me forever. And from then on, there was nothing else.
And this is why we always tell people about representation, like how important representation is, because you were able to see, even though you knew you had talent, but you're like, well, where does this go? And then you're like,
I didn't know where it went.
I can do this. This is what I can do. I want to know about your first break into mainstream.
I went to Carnegie Mellon University in the drama department. And I'm going to say that again. I went to Carnegie Mellon in the drama department and studied classical theater. studied classical theater. You know, there's this idea that I just came out and I just, you know, show up and be a faggot and that's okay.
Uh-huh.
But people forget I'm actually a trained bitch. That's why I'm still here. I'm a trained bitch. Fully trained. And then went to graduate school at UCLA in the screenwriting program. So I graduated I went to Carnegie Mellon, and in the second semester of my senior year, because I had been spending summers in New York, I had gone through a series of auditions. I went to an open call for a musical called Miss Saigon. That was very popular at the time. One of the big mega musicals from the British invasion. You had Les Mis, you had Phantom, you had Cats, you had Miss Saigon. It was in that era. And I booked it. And so the second semester of my senior year, I was given the opportunity to have an internship, essentially, a paid internship, to go to New York and be in the original cast of Miss Saigon. So that was my big sort of first break. I was in the ensemble. I was 21 years old. I did it for a year. And my first string of shows, it was that. And then I went into another show called Five Guys Named Mo, which also had come from London, Cameron McIntosh, the producer. And I understudied 3 people in that show. And then I was cast in the Broadway revival of Grease. Playing the teen angel in Grease. And I was given carte blanche to rearrange the song. And I did it, I did this sort of gospel, R&B soul arrangement, and which is I am wont to do. And but that was with Rosie O'Donnell and the yet unknown Megan Mullally. And it was me and a bunch of really, really, really talented people. And simultaneously, I was working on getting a record contract. And so between 1990 when I got there and 94, I was doing Broadway and trying to do mainstream R&B at the same time. I got a record contract on A&M Records, and my first album came out in 97, Billy Porter, Untitled. It's an R&B album, and that's when you're referring to me being straight.
Yeah.
Because, and I was never hiding. And it was the 90s.
You didn't ask, you didn't tell,
I just wasn't, and that was what you did, and it was 90s R&B. And if you go back, I have 2 music videos. You can go and look at them online.
I've seen them.
They're very straight. I'm an actor. If you didn't know, you wouldn't know.
Right.
I could act straight.
Yeah.
I can act straight. My first Show Me, the remake of Glenn Jones's Show Me, the woman in that was my best friend, Benita, from college. And so it was an interesting time because I sacrificed my authenticity because I thought that was what would bring me the success that I wanted. That's what I was told. That was the dangle.
Yeah. I think that's what most of us queer people are told. Like, you have to dilute yourself in order to be successful, especially from
palatable.
Yeah, especially from that time.
Yeah.
You're like, girl, you want to be, bitch, we saw rich and famous people on TV. I want to be rich and famous. So if I got to say, I'll suck a dick at night after 12 before 6, I'll do that. And then I'll just do my I'll do my job. My job is to entertain, and that's what I do. So I understand it. And what I think people get that kind of shit confused with like DL or download. It's like, no, I gotta work.
Yeah.
And
I gotta eat.
I gotta eat. And you're telling me that, I gotta keep that shit quiet or you ain't gonna feed me. And this is the way I wanna eat.
Yes.
But let's fast forward now to how you have become and you are. That's why I said the aunt. Like, we see you. Bitch, we see you. We see you on the carpet. We see you there. We see you in the places. We see you making a stand. And you like, and I want to say I understood all the conversation around. The answer is no.
Yeah.
And whatever that means. Whatever that means. The answer is no.
Thank you. Yes. Yes.
And whatever that means. So that meant, no, we ain't fucking with y'all. No, we not gonna lay down. No, because what I received from that is I already done been through this.
Yeah, we did this already. We did this already. I'm 56 years old. We did this already. Y'all can kiss my ass.
It's
the
like
pink
that.
part.
Yeah.
The pink part in Macy's window during the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Right.
Y'all can kiss my ass.
It's like, I'm not doing this. We're not doing this no more. We're not finna be repeating this. We're not finna be going through this. I already done been through this shit. The answer is no. I understood that.
I know you do. I follow you. I love you. I love
you too.
I've been waiting for this call, by the way.
I've been waiting to do this. I've been waiting to do this because I knew that we could sit up and key, especially about just the things. Like, now I want to go, I'm doing a serious time, but I want to go back a little bit, just that. Bitch, when you got up there and you motherfucker terrorized that woman about fuck her, I'm like, Auntie, now did you put a goddamn L20 in there at first to make sure? Because, bitch, I want to be as confident because you was I was like,
okay. All right. Let me explain. There's a whole backstory, right? So I don't know if you know this.
Okay.
But I had sepsis in August.
Yes, I did. I did know that. Yes.
And sitting in the hospital for a month and then recovery for the following up till now, I'm still recovering.
Yes.
I've had a lot of time to self-reflect. I smashed a glass ceiling that was never supposed to be smashed, right? I transcended with Kinky Boots, Pose, fashion, and all of the things that I've been blessed with. I've transcended something. And I've vibrated in this A-list space.
Mm-hmm.
And during the strikes, and I ascended because of my truthfulness and my authenticity. So as we know, in this business, it goes up and down.
Yeah.
The very thing that lifts us up is the very thing that they use to turn on us and drag us down.
Yes.
So it's, this is not a woe is me. This is not a victim anything. These are just the facts. So during the strikes, I was very quiet because I was so enraged. And I understood that sometimes rage isn't useful. So I was trying to just be present, listen, and figure out if I ever needed to speak on it, right? And I'm the person who I'm like, don't ask me questions you don't want the answers to.
Right.
And as my publicist, which we had a conversation later, you're supposed to vet the questions, right? Because you know who I am, right? Mm-hmm. So if I'm not supposed to be talking about something, your ass needs to be in there making sure that I'm not being asked the question. I'm not going to limit myself when I'm in a moment. I'm not. And you know that. So, and this, what was interesting was that Black Mona Lisa had come out, my most recent album. I was in London. I was doing an interview for The Guardian, and it was supposed to be 20 minutes. And this journalist, this lovely journalist, we just started talking. An hour and a half later, we finished. And we had talked about everything. And I felt so good because sometimes I feel like I'm relegated to this clown space, because I dare to wear a dress on the red carpet. And so it's often that people just kind of push me into like, oh, he's just a clown, right? There's always intention behind everything I do. Everything you see me do is planned and intentional. And so when I finished this Guardian interview, the 60-plus-year-old Scottish, man, press guy from my label was in tears. And he said, and I was like, what's the matter? He's like, I just have never met anybody like you. I've never worked with anybody like you. The way you can articulate trauma and articulate love and how the two can come together is very, very, very powerful. There aren't a lot of people that can just tell the truth the way you do. You tell it with care. You tell it with love. You tell it, consciously. So 2 months later, this article comes out, and I'm in P-Town, and I'm by myself because I'm in the middle of a divorce now. So I just took some time, and I'm walking down the street, and all of a sudden, people are like running out of cafes, screaming from the street, "You're a fucking hero, Billy Porter. You're a hero. Thank you." And I'm like, oh God, what happened?
You like, what you did?
Oh shit, what happened? So I go on my phone, and the headline is, Billy Porter says fuck Bob Iger. Billy calls Anna Wintour a bitch. And I'm like, did this journalist bitch throw me under the bus? And so I go to the article, and she said everything verbatim that I had spoken about. So let me dissect that for you. She asked me about the strike. She asked me why. I told her I didn't, she said, well, what are you fighting for? What are y'all fighting for? And I said, I'm so glad I get to like talk about this in full. And I said to her, well, there are freelance artists are artists, as artists, we're freelance.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that every time a job ends, we got to get a new one. And there are 5 tiers of how we get paid. The first tier is hand to mouth. The second tier is check to check. The third tier is I'm doing all right. The fourth tier is set for life. And the fifth tier is fuck you money. Now, 0.00001% of us make the fuck you money. But the tier that we're fighting for is the set for life. And that comes with the residual package that has been in place for network television and film and TV for decades. And the last negotiation we had, the streaming service were introduced, and the studios said, oh, we don't really know what this is, so let's revisit this the next time. Fast forward 4, 8 years, whatever it was, they're making hand over fist and bragging about it. And we're not getting our compensation in the way that we should.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're fighting for. And I said, so somebody like a Bob Iger, who got on his $1 billion plane, with his $1 billion buddies to that $1 billion conference, called a camera crew to tell the world who already thinks that we as artists are whiners and complainers, and told the world that our demand for a living wage is unrealistic. When he's making $78,000 a day, and we're getting 6-cent checks. I'm talking in extremes. I was talking in extremes, yes. But some of those girls from Orange is the New Black were getting 6-cent checks.
Yeah. Yeah.
While he's making $78,000 a day, and we're getting 6-cent checks. Fuck that and fuck him. There's context to the reason why I said that. I wasn't talking about him specifically. He just happened to be the person that did what he did in that space and time. I'm talking about all of them.
Yeah.
I'm talking about all of it. I'm talking about the predatory culture of billionaires, of these companies. I'm talking about the whole thing. So that came out, right? And it was like no context, once again, because we're going to circle back to Nicki Minaj, but no context, just occult. And then we were also talking about, and for the last time, we were talking about the Harry Styles Vogue cover, and my response to that, and which for me was just, I was being flippant and sassy. I didn't care. I had my own covers. I was the first gay man on the cover of Essence. I was the first man on the cover of Allure. There was no, but I said, oh, he's white and straight. Of course he got it. Like with no, and they turned that into
a headline,
an attack on this poor boy for years. I was like, it's not about that. It's about the erasure of our culture systemically. It's about that. It's not about him. He just happens to be the person that's in the space right now. But what I said was, what people don't know is that I sat on the dais with Anna Wintour months before at the Condé Nast Summit. And at the end of talking for like 45 minutes, she said to me, so how can we do better? I was so taken off guard because it's not a question that I ever thought. You know what I mean? And I didn't say what I should have said, which is use the power of being the leader in the fashion industry and support the people, not just me, the people who are the leaders of this degendering of fashion moment. That's what I should have said.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what I said, but so I was telling the journalist about this, and I said, and she asked me a question, and I just blanked. And she said, what did she say? And I was like, that bitch said, blah, 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 blah. So y'all know that the queer vernacular uses bitch as a term of endearment.
Right.
And you motherfuckers pulled a soundbite out and said that I actually called her a bitch. This is what I'm talking about. It's like there's no context. So getting back to Nicki Minaj, right? I took a step back. If I'm being honest, right? There's that unspoken, and I'm sure you've experienced this too.
All the time.
This unspoken ooh, you said, oh, you in trouble now, but nobody's gonna actually say it. But all of a sudden, the work has dried up. and there ain't no work any, like, what's happening, right? So I took some time. And I was like, I'm gonna be like Janet. I'm gonna take some time off, let people miss me, and then come back with a vengeance. I need time anyway. It's been 5 years of just nonstop. Let me take some time. I'm cool with that. I'll be quiet. I will tone it down, right?
Uh-huh.
So you fast forward to all of a sudden, I'm in Cabaret last year in London playing the MC, making my West End debut, first Black MC, first Black Sally Bowles in the 60-year history of this show that's about Nazi Germany. We were there too. So we're making history. I'm having a ball. And it feels like resistance because it's about, I go to the Nazis every night. I'm telling this story. I'm in the middle of my purpose.
Yeah.
My art is my resistance, right? I get a urinary infection. The medicine in the UK is trash. They don't, 4 rounds of antibiotics and 10 to 12 weeks later, it's a kidney infection with kidney stones. Fast forward to, they finally give me medicine. It seems to go away. I direct a play in London. I come home. I go on vacation. I go into rehearsals for Cabaret on Broadway. I go into the show and everything seems fine. And a month in, the kidney stone pain comes back. It's a Friday of my 4th week. I'm supposed to do 3 months. Marisha Wallace and I are closing the show. By Tuesday, I checked myself into the hospital because I'm in so much pain. And I woke up on Saturday morning. I'm sorry, I checked myself in on Tuesday night, and I woke up on Saturday night. They went in to do a routine check. They saw that the kidney stone was trapped in my urethra.
Oh.
And they went in to do a routine, put a stent in, redirect the urine, blast me with real antibiotics, not UK antibiotics, not that weak shit. then go in through my penis and blow up the kidney stones.
Ooh.
When they got in there was so much pus and bile and infection behind the stone. It bubbled up and I went uroseptic in minutes. I was on the ECMO machine. I was dead for 3 days. I am a miracle. I'm a walking miracle. And when I woke up, they told me my leg had gone into compartment syndrome, which is when the muscles close in on themselves and cut off the oxygen. So they had to cut me open on either side of my leg while I was in a coma, and from my knee to my hip, and leave it open for 2 days so they could save my leg. I am so grateful to be here. It is such a gift. And as I sat in my hospital bed, reflecting, there were a couple of things I heard. The first thing I heard was work smarter, not harder. The second thing I heard was be obedient and answer the call. And the third thing I heard was don't you ever stop telling the truth again. I unconsciously silenced myself for fear that I wouldn't be on the A-list anymore. For fear, and I'm talking about my own ego now, for fear that I would have to ride coach again. Let's fucking tell the truth. For fear that I wouldn't be able to have the luxuries, the bullshit luxuries. You know, I mean, I've experienced what the billionaires experience. You know, I get driven to the plane on the tarmac. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, it's like,
yes.
and I didn't realize, and that's just one example, but like, I didn't realize my ego. My ego. So let me restructure. Let me go back to my truth. Let me go back to the truth. So my first time back, and I know this is a long way around to get to.
Oh no, listen, I'm here.
This is a long way around to get to Nicki Minaj, but I've been watching everything that's going on right now. And anytime the wind blows politically in these spaces, we and our community are always affected. No matter where we are socioeconomically, no matter what we're doing. We had COVID, we had 2 strikes. I had a divorce where that man got everything I ever worked for. My mother died 2 years ago this month. And then sepsis. So when I got on that carpet, I knew that all I could do was tell the truth. I was not expecting the Nicki Minaj question. And what I will say about that really amazing journalist is that she's amazing because she did her homework and she understood that I don't respond to dumb questions. I don't respond to clickbait. I don't respond to the internet. I don't respond. I do not now, nor will I ever adjudicate my life in sound bites on social media. Adjudicate my life or humanity in sound bites on social media. I'm too old for that. I just don't, it's just not my thing. So the first thing she asked me, and I don't know if you heard this, but I posted it on my page because I needed everybody to know, once again, there's always context. When I go off, there's always context behind it.
Okay.
And so she said to me, do you think, it was for the Grammys, the Black Music Coalition, honoring Brandy, Pharrell, and Kirk Franklin. So she said, it's very smartly, she said, do you think you can separate the music from the activism? And I said, for me, no. And I spoke about it for at least a minute, maybe a minute and a half. I pontificated, I waxed poetic, I did all the things about why I can't, right? And then this bitch went in for the kill because she knew. And she said, well, you know, speaking of so-and-so and such and such, Nicki Minaj has been tricked, and she couldn't get it out fast enough. And I was triggered. T.S., I was triggered. And I just, you know, and that's the truth. That's the truth. All of these people who are capitulating to whatever this is. I was watching our Vice President Harris on Stephen Colbert, and she said, I predicted all of this, but what I couldn't have predicted is the capitulation. So I have nothing left for that. And that's where it came from. It's like, I'm not a soundbite guy. I didn't do that to have a soundbite. I didn't do that to go viral. That was real. That was a real response to what is going on this planet. And if you listen to it, it started with her and expanded to the whole thing in 30 seconds. I spoke to everything that's going on this planet in about 30 seconds.
The answer is no.
The answer is no. No. Whatever that means, our ancestors already died for this.
Yeah.
They already did. They already did.
Yeah.
And that's the issue right now. What are we ready? What are we willing to sacrifice? Because they sacrificed their lives. And we have too many comforts now.
Well, I think that I'm so glad that you spoke to that, because I think that the wake up call is truly coming. It's already here. But the wake up call is, we only heard about what our ancestors went through. We've only read about it. We've only seen movies about it. We haven't experienced it. So experiencing it will make you appreciate where the things that they fought for, that we didn't have to, like, I only heard my grandfather say, well, they couldn't drink from a water fountain.
Right.
Or they had to come in through the backside, or, you know what I'm saying? I know what I've experienced, from, but the things that I've heard them tell us, it's just like, because my grandfather died like 88, 80. So he lived,
Yeah.
I mean, not the 80s, but he died at 88, 87.
Yeah.
So he lived through that to see these things happen, to see the times change.
And we're back.
Yeah, and we're
to
back.
Square one.
Yes.
And I'm just supposed to be silent about it?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, I'm looking at the playbook of the way that you get a marginalized group, you make it enemy number one, you make everybody hate that. You pull everybody together to hate that. And while everybody's hating that, you working silently behind the scenes to strip everything from all those other people that don't look like the head niggas in charge.
Right.
And then, like, everybody's still focused on that group or whatever. Because it makes my stomach boil when I hear people say, well, I disagree with this stuff with Trump, with this, but that right there, I can understand. No, you can't. None of that shit you can understand. You can't see a loophole in none of that shit. You can't
Fuck
give
that.
it no.
Fuck that and fuck all of them. Fuck
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. You can't give any leeway to any of that shit.
Nope.
None of
Not
it.
now.
Because it is dangerous. It's dangerous, because what they're telling you is, well, yeah, none of those people are really human. And it's okay if we eradicate that set, because if we do that, then things will get better. And it's always moving the goalposts, moving it all the time. And when I sit on this show, I talk shit and joke and say all kind of craziness or whatever, because it's fun. I have fun.
Yeah, of course.
But when I'm talking about
we still have to have joy. We still have to have joy.
When I'm talking about shit, like, you can't tell me that the first thing that you come in office to and you are concerned about gender and stuff like this. Like, none of those people are concerned about women, honey. Those people, that fucking man ain't up there concerned about no goddamn genders. He's not.
No.
It's to feed into the fears and to the hate and to the things that will get people riled up to be like, I can get with that. Like grifting.
Mm-hmm. And here's one of the things, because I write and I write myself out of, I try to write myself out, and I'm getting ready to join Substack, because I feel like you've heard of Substack, right?
No, tell me.
Substack is a new social media platform that I call the maturing of social media. And you can write long form. It's not sound bites. You can do podcasts. You can do newsletters. You can, post videos. Like, it's where Don Lemon is now.
Oh yeah, okay.
Don Lemon went from CNN to
Substack.
Joy Reid went from MSNBC to Substack.
Okay.
And it's not toxic and corrupted yet. And so I really feel I can, right. And so I can really get on there and, do my James Baldwin essay stuff. And
how
so
black is it though?
It's everybody. It's everybody. It's everybody. There's a lot of different people on there. It's a lot of different races, genders, like everybody is on there. And it's still small enough to not, like I said, be toxic. But one of the things that keeps coming up for me spiritually and emotionally and historically is this. The new knowledge that so much of our democracy is built on tradition and somebody's moral fortitude. So, the peaceful transfer of power is not a rule. It's not a law. The peaceful transfer of power is not a law. So all somebody has to do is say no. Why wasn't Roe v. Wade codified for 50 years? I didn't even know what that fucking word meant. What are y'all doing?
Right.
What are y'all doing? If it only took 10 years for that man and his cronies to simply just say no. All they did is say no for 10 years. And we are this. Then what was the shit in the first place?
Right.
What was it in the first place?
Right.
Because it's that easy to dismantle, then what the fuck was it in the first place?
Because it's definitely, that's all there's like, no, I'm not doing that.
That's all they're doing.
That's what they do. No, I'm not doing that.
That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
If I don't answer a subpoena, they throw my ass under the jail.
Yes.
Why is that motherfucker not in jail?
Yes.
Already. You know, and I was reading something about Susan Rice. I was reading something about Susan Rice the other day because, you know, he's called on her to be fired from the board of Netflix. And, you know, she's talking about, oh, you know, when we get back in power, they will be, you know, prosecuted. There'll be this, there'll be this, there'll be this. No, you had the chance to do that before and you didn't, which is the reason why we're here.
Yes.
So why should I believe you?
So do something
why should I believe
now.
You?
Do
why
something
should I
now.
believe you?
Do something now.
Right now.
Yeah. They are fucking shit up right now.
If this was happening from a Democrat, Obama would have been under the fucking
baby, listen,
jail.
They would have fried Obama like some chicken. Wait, are y'all still there? Because we are not done yet. Head over to our brand new Outlaws Patreon for Outlaws Still Recording. Think of it as the after party for the Maddie mob. I see y'all in the comments saying you wish our episodes were longer. Well, I do too. And your wish is my command. You know, I love my guests. I could talk to them for hours. And trust me, we do. So every week, tune in to Outlaws Still Recording to get extra 15 minutes with us. Now, where do you hear some of the stuff that we get into when the mic is still hot? Go to www.patreon.com/Outlaws with T.S. Madison. That's www.patreon.com/Outlaws with T.S. Madison. Don't meet me there, bitch. Beat us there.